Okay, systems of equations, let's review. We have two equations and we are trying to find out what value of x and what value of y works for both of these equations. So one way we can do this is with elimination. So we'll take x plus y equals -2 and x plus 3y equals 0 and subtract the second equation from the first. So x minus x is 0x, y minus 3y is -2y, and -2 minus 0 is -2. So 2y equals -2, and we can now divide by -2 on both sides to get y on its own. And y is equal to 1. Now that we have y equals 1, let's take that first equation, x plus y equals -2, and let's replace the y with 1. So x plus 1 equals -2. And let it subtract 1 from both sides. So x equals -3. So we should have x equals -3 and y equals 1. Now another way that we could solve this let's use substitution. So we'll take the first equation here, x plus y equals -2, and let's reshape this. So all the x's are on one side and all the y's on the other. And we'll do that by subtracting x from both sides. So what we're left with is y equals -x minus 2. Now we can take the second equation here and we can replace the y with -x minus 2, leaving us with x plus 3 times brackets -x minus 2 equals 0. So trying to get x on its own, let's go 3 times -x and 3 times -2 with the distributive property. So x minus 3x minus 6 equals 0. Now let's group our like terms. With 1x minus 3x equals 2x. Sorry, just -2x. So -2x minus 6 equals 0. We can add 6 to both sides to get -2x equals 6. And we will divide both sides by -2 to get x on its own. So we have x equals -3. And if we did the same thing, plugging x into one of these equations, we should end up with x equals -3 and y equals 1. Now the third way that we can deal with this is to graph them. So let's get both of these equations in the form of a line that we're familiar with. So we already saw how to get x plus y equals -2 to become y equals -x minus 2. For the second equation, x plus 3y equals 0. Let's subtract x from both sides to get y on its own. So 3y equals -x. And continuing to get y on its own, let's divide both sides by 3. So y equals -1/3 x. So now we have two lines that we can graph. For the first one, let's go find the y-intercept of -2 and the slope. The slope is -1. So when we go up by 1, we'll go left by 1. Or we'll go down by 1 and right by 1. So here's one of our two lines. This is the line for the first equation in blue up there. And for our second equation, the y-intercept is 0, because there is no b that we're saying, so that's plus 0. And the slope is negative 1 over 3. So we go up by 1 and to the left by 3. Or we go down by 1 and to the right by 3. So now let's draw this line. And where these lines meet is the solution to our system of equations at negative 3, 1. So that matches with our solutions we found. X equals negative 3, y equals 1.